Hey y'all. It is a really nice day today. It's not super hot. Just left Walmart and I found what I need for one of these upcycles I want to do for you guys. This is such an easy upcycle, and it's something that's trending, so I think you guys will really like it. So why don't we go home and let's do it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are picking up where we left off in the last video, where I was shopping at Walmart for some supplies for an upcoming project. And I was able to get what I needed, although you'll see a little twist during the video. So here is one of my inspiration. This one is a dress by Free People, and it's got the drop waist and the tank top. This one here is from Madewell, and it's super simple. It clearly just pulls over your head. It's a little bit shorter than what I want, but it's super simple, super basic, and I think it captures my inspiration. The third one is by Anthropologie, and this one is really nice, but I think this one zips up the back, and I think it has a little bit of a bubble skirt kind of effect to it. This one also has a little bubble kind of effect to the bottom of the skirt, but then the seam around the drop waist is on the outside, and I'm not exactly doing that. All right, now for the stuff that I bought for the project. You saw I looked up, and as I was looking for some white cotton or broadcloth, Walmart had this 4 yards of poly cotton, 65 polyester, 35% cotton. And I like that because there's very little to no shrinkage. 4 yards. So I think this is going to give me enough of gathering that I need all the way around. So I got this. And then I bought this netting because I want to give the skirt a little bit of a lift. I might need it, I might not. We're going to see. If I don't like it, I'll just take it out. But I also need this for my other dress that I'm making with the metallic. And I do need to go on Amazon and order that paint. And then the last thing I bought was this white shirt. This white, like wife beater. And I don't know whether or not I'm going to like this or not. I'm going to try it on. I don't know if it's going to work for this project, but I do have another one, and I wanted to get this one just in case. All right, so my battery is about to die. I'm going to change clothes, and then we're going to start working on this project. Okay, got my pillow. Y'all know I love to cut on the floor, so it is what it is. I'm going to pop up a picture of my inspiration, and we're going to lay this fabric out. So y'all don't sleep on Walmart. I got 4 yards for, is that $10? So actually it was a little less than that. It might have been like $9. All right, so I'm looking at this. I think that this is going to be just the right amount to go around, maybe even more. And you know what, y'all? I was going to cut it, but I'm going to use the full length of this for the skirt. Okay, so you saw my inspiration. It's the drop waist dress. And I think this is going to be super easy, y'all. So right around the selvage, I just opened up the fabric. Right around the selvage, I'm going to go in right below the selvage here, and I'm going to run a base stitch all the way around. Not one single thread, because I know if it breaks, I'm going to be in trouble. But I'm going to go ahead and do the whole 4 yards. And I want to see how much fullness that's going to give me. All right, so this is the top. and it's going to drop down here all the way around. Now I thought maybe I would just double it, but then that would only be 2 yards, and maybe that's enough to give me the fullness that I need. And that way I have weight in the skirt. Maybe we'll double it. Okay, so this is 4 yards, and I'm folding the 4 yards in half, and I'm gonna go to my sewing machine, and we are gonna run a base stitch right around there, right from the fold to there. And my thinking is that this should be enough. I think so. So I've got 4 yards, 44 inches wide. Took the 4 yards, I folded it in half. So now I have double. So my skirt is actually gonna be 2 layers. So let's think about it. So right now we're just gonna run the basting stitch. So I have it doubled, have the fabric doubled. So it's 2 yards long right now. In case you're ever wondering how long a yard is usually from the center of your chest to the tip of your middle finger. So if you hold the fabric out to the end from the middle of your chest, that's a yard. Should be a yard. Give or take maybe a centimeter or 2. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this. Okay, so I have done gathering. It's not completely even because I just don't know how much I'm gonna need to go all the way around. I'm gonna try it out and see. So I'm trying not to have to do a zipper, so that's not bad. I think I can close it up. Ideally, I either want to step into it, putting it over my head might work. I think that's about where we're going to be. I'm going to take this and maybe I give myself a split. Y'all know I love a good split. So maybe I put this opening in the front so my leg, you know what? That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna sew it here down maybe about 10 inches, and then we're just gonna fold this back so that I have a little split action happening there. Yeah, that's the thing I love. This is why I make my own clothes, y'all. Okay, I sewed this little side seam and I put this back on just to see where it was gonna sit on my hips. I pulled up my tennis skirt to try it on, and it's sitting right here where I think it needs to sit, and I think that's gonna be okay. So I do still need to spread the gathers out a little better. I think when I pin it, it'll be okay. I just want to pause here for a second. If your hips are larger, then you may not be able to double this fabric over. So make sure that you have enough fabric to go all the way around your hips and still be able to gather it. Okay, this is the t-shirt tank top that I picked up from Walmart, and it's actually a decent quality. It's not, you know, it's a nice thickness. There's nothing really wrong with the shirt. Personally, I wanted a higher neckline, which was why I was trying to locate the tank tops that I thrifted some time ago, but I couldn't find them. So we're just going to go with this tank top. So I've already put the gathering in, and now I'm going to take the tank top and put it on the inside so that right sides are together. So right side of the skirt to the right side of the tank top. And then I'm just going to evenly distribute the gathering around the tank top and pin it all the way around. Okay, so I pinned the shirt to the skirt all the way around, and I hope it's not stretched out too weird, but you see, this is the look I'm going for. Isn't this like the simplest little summer dress that you could just throw together with a tank top from Walmart and some fabric from Walmart? Now, I will say this t-shirt, this wife beater, is a little not as white as the bottom, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I actually have another shirt, but for the purposes of this video, we are staying with it. We are committed. We are bought in. So, you can look at that. So you stretch the shirt as you're pinning, and you make sure that your gathers are even all the way around. So now I am going to stitch all the way across. I'm not going to use the netting unless when I try it on, it doesn't stand out like I want it to. Okay. I'm going to stitch just inside the hem of the shirt. So my stitch will go right there. And I feel like with the gathers and this fabric, we'll let it sit out enough. Okay? And then I have my little split. And then we're gonna decide whether or not I'm gonna make the layers. Okay, be back. You're chilling in the rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me alone. Look what I found. I went through the rest of my summer clothes and I found both t-shirts. As you can see, I know it's blown out because of the white. Okay, now you can see it. See how it's made a little different at the top on this one? And then, actually they're the same. But I love these. I love both of them. I got them brand new with tags thrifting. So I'm gonna see which one looks best. So at the bottom of this one, it's curved. At the bottom of this one is straight. That's the only difference between the two. So now that I've located the tank tops that I thrifted, I need to take the skirt and separate it from the tank top that I got from Walmart because I want to replace it. Yeah. So just another step in the process that I hadn't planned on, but I really like the neckline of these tank tops. They're higher up and they more resemble the inspiration. All right, so now we're going to lay this out and do the same process all over again. Put the new tank top on the inside of the skirt, disperse the gathers all the way around, pin it, and then we're going to go back to the sewing machine and sew it. I won't show that part since you've already seen it already. So of course I have to add a little zhuzh to my upcycle. It just can't be ordinary. So I'm going to use some organza and create little flowers with pearls to put on a tank top. Now you don't have to do this, obviously, completely up to you, but I just wanted a little something extra. I'm wearing this dress to a kind of fancy event and I just want to dress it up a little bit. So I took some organza that I've had for years. I folded it over about 4 times. I cut it into about 6-inch squares. I measured these out about 6-inch squares, 6 or 7 inches. It doesn't have to be exact. And then I cut that in half. And then I just freehand created these circles that began to take on the shape of a flower. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be whatever shape you want. I wanted mine to have a round kind of floral shape. But I cut about 4 or 5 layers of organza together. So to keep them from slipping, I pinned them in the middle. Once those were done, I lit a candle. Any candle will do. And I took one single piece of organza and basically brought it pretty close to the flame and just barely grazed the flame. Just enough to make the edges of the organza a little stiff and curl. And that's an important part. One, you don't want to leave the organza on the flame for too long because you will get a little soot buildup and you don't want that, especially if you're using white. Now, if you're using black organza, it won't matter. And you want the edges to curl just ever so slightly. Once all of the pieces have been cut out and you've kind of singed them a little bit with the flame, then you can sew a pearl or a bead or something in the center. I chose pearls because pearls are my favorite. And I have a huge bag of pearls that I got from Joann's Fabrics. I believe they still sell them. If they do, I will link them below. I will link everything below. And it will be linked in my Like to Know It store. So I gather up all of my flower petals that have been sewn together. I only used about 4 or 5, but you can use more if you like. All right, put those to the side, and now I am going to create layers in my skirt. Now, the camera dropped and I lost the footage, but I wanted to show you essentially what I did. So remember, the fabric was 44 inches wide. Obviously, I don't need a 44-inch skirt. So I cut the skirt. I think I cut about 6 or 7 inches off the bottom. And then the top layer, I cut 7 inches off of the top layer. So that meant that my top layer was short, the bottom layer was long, and then I still had enough fabric left to then put my 1-inch hem in there. So right now I'm just cutting the top layer so that you can see how this looks. See the top layer and then the bottom layer. And I just decided that's how I wanted the bottom of my dress to be. Now I have to go in and create the split. So I already created the opening for the split, but I need to fold back the edges and stitch that. So the first thing I'm going to do, because obviously I folded this, I'm cutting the fold off, and then I'll just take it to the machine, and instead of using a serger, I'm going to use a zigzag stitch, and you'll watch me do that in the next clip. If you own a serger and you have white thread in it already, then go for it. Serge this puppy all the way around. I had black and blue thread in my serger, and I wanted to get this dress done, so I did not feel like changing the thread out. So I took it over to my Opal 690 and I put it on a zigzag stitch, and I zigzag stitched all the way around the bottom of this dress. The zigzag stitch helps the fabric to keep from fraying. It gives you a nice clean edge, and it does essentially the same thing a serger would do, except the serger cuts and sews. The sewing machine, it won't cut, but it will give you a nice stitch all the way around. And then the next step is going to be, I did want to do a little ruching or a little like pleating on the side. I'm not 100% happy the way it turned out, but it did give the tank top a little more shape on the side. All I did was go on the side seam, and I stitched and folded, pleated the fabric over, stitched a little bit more, pleated the fabric over, stitch a little bit more, pleated the fabric over, all the way down until I reached the cotton part of the skirt. So you can see me doing a little bit of it here, and I apologize for the camera angle. Now, this was just my preference, but again, this is only inspiration. You can ruche the side if you want, or you can just let it hang straight. It's completely up to you. I just decided to go in and do that. Now I decided to go ahead and throw this 1-inch hem in, and you'll hear it in the next frame. There was a weird noise going on with my machine, so I changed out the needle, and I still don't think that the needle is right. Anyway, I tried to go ahead and sew the hem, but it wasn't working, so I had to go to my industrial machine, which meant I had to go back in with my seam ripper, take all of those stitches out, and then re-sew it. It ended up being better on the straight stitch. I've got to figure out what's going on with my other machine. I think I need to get the correct needles, but suffice to say, we threw the hem in there. I also went in and I stitched the split or the opening in the front of the skirt, in the front of the dress rather. I just folded it over about 1/4 of an inch, and since it was serged, I didn't have to worry about it fraying. So I folded it over and just stitched it all the way around. And I'll show you a little bit of that here. This is the split area, and you see I just folded it over and stitched very close to the edge down to the hem. Now I'm going to sew on my flowers. You can decide where you want to place them. I wanted them to kind of come up a little bit on my shoulder and come down a little bit, so I placed them where I wanted. I pinned them down, and then again on my industrial machine I just went on ahead and stitched right on top. I did about 3 or 4 stitches on each flower, and that held them in place really nicely. Here is the finished look of the dress. I think it's beautiful. I really like it. I'm going to try it on for you guys so you can see what it looks like. And I hope you will try this out. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have some other ideas, let me know. But I really like the way this turned out. And I like that it drops more than what I initially thought it was going to. So it's a little longer than I thought, and it's just a perfect little summer dress. So, all right, you guys, enjoy. See you next week. Bye.